Defense Minister Benny Gantz recently signed an order to begin seizing 10 million shekels that were being transferred by the Palestinian Authority to the private bank accounts of terrorists who were involved in severe terror attacks. In a recent interview with Al-Jazeera, Representative Rashida Tlaib said she does not support a two-state solution. Bookingcom is planning to add a safety and human rights warning to Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria, and Member of Knesset Ofer Cassif is once again showing his utter hatred for Israel. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys. Hello and welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, make sure to like this video, also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Israel Guys. This video was sponsored by Blessed by Israel. So there was a shooting attack on Monday morning in the Arab town of Hawara. Hawara is a town really close to where we are. We're on the Mount of Blessing. It's just down the hill. We drive through it almost every day going to Jerusalem or wherever we need to go. It's in Area B, which means that it's supposed to be controlled by the Palestinian Authority, but it's under the military control of Israel. So there was a shooting attack there when an Israeli Jewish driver was returning home from work and was fired upon. At least 4 bullets struck the car, damaging the vehicle, but thankfully causing no injuries. An IDF spokesperson said the shooting attack was carried out by terrorists in a passing car. Also, the terrorist group, which is called Al-Aswad, took responsibility for the attempted attack. The chairman of the Samaria Regional Council, Yossi Dagan, arrived at the scene of the attack shortly after the shooting, and he blamed the government policies in Judea and Samaria for this attack. He said, quote, "The government is waiting for the next disaster before it takes action and uproots the terrorist network in the Palestinian Authority. It has been a long time since we saw so many shooting attacks near civilian population centers, a sign of our weakening deterrence and the fact that guns are everywhere." Also, Tuesday morning at a military base in northern Samaria, there were reports of gunfire from terrorists who were actually shooting at the military base. Thankfully, no one again was injured. The hand of God is on this place. The IDF soldiers and border police officers were dispatched to conduct searches of the surrounding area in an effort to apprehend the terrorists responsible for this shooting. So guys, in some good news, I guess you could say, Israel has started to seize. They're actually starting to do something here with terrorism. They're planning to start seizing 10 million shekels that were being transferred to terrorists from the Palestinian Authority. So, Defense Minister Benny Gantz signed an order to begin seizing 10 million shekels that were being transferred to by the Palestinian Authority to the private bank accounts of terrorists who were involved in recent severe terror attacks. The orders were signed as a part of a larger effort by the Ministry of Defense to fight against terror organizations and the regular payments made by the Palestinian Authority to secure prisoners who were involved in terrorist operations. So the funds that Gantz authorized to seize were paid by the Palestinian Authority to not only terrorists in Israeli prisons, but also to discharge terrorists and families of terrorists who are right now serving in Israeli prisons. So this specific order that Benny Gantz signed to seize these funds specifically pertains to 86 terrorists who are currently jailed or have been freed and their families, and it seizes the sum of approximately 10 million shekels. In accordance with the order, the banks that transfer the funds and those that the terrorists and their families have accounts in were contacted and ordered to withhold the funds. The funds will then be transferred to the public custodian. Guys, as ironic as this may sound, U.S. Representative Rashida Tlaib, who is part of the squad and who is known for her anti-Israel criticism of Israel, she said in a recent interview that she does not support a two-state solution. And we're going to get into what she meant here. So she recently did an interview with Al-Jazeera in which she accused the Jewish state of apartheid toward Palestinian Arabs. So in this interview, which was aired on September 16th and was translated by the Middle East Media Research Institute, really great organization, she said that she does not see how a two-state solution for the Israeli-Palestinian Arab conflict can work, and also said that the U.S. must change its policies toward Israel.
I mean, somebody can show me how, but I don't think there's a pathway for two-state with the apartheid system that is happening in Israel right now. We keep saying we're going to have a two-state, and all we see is the complete opposite. We have apartheid now. I don't know how we achieve it. I don't know how we do it when we keep segregating the communities from each other. We need to change our policies when it comes to the state of Israel. We desperately need to look at it, do a different lens, because it's obvious, you can't claim you're a democracy and then say you, an American citizen, the country that gives you the most aid, you can't come into our country because you support these issues.
So, as you know, when she said that there is apartheid happening in Israel, you can know she is absolutely 100% lying, and it's false what she's saying. But when she said what she was talking about, she said you cannot claim that you're a democracy and then say you an American citizen. What she was talking about there is in 2019, Israel actually decided to ban Rashida Tlaib and fellow Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to ban them from entering Israel because of their support for the BDS movement, which was, I think, a very good move on Israel's part. So what does she actually support? And we're going to get into that. She supports the BDS, and she's also against giving military aid to Israel, because one time she was asked in a television interview whether she would vote against military aid to Israel when she goes to Congress, and her answer was yes, absolutely. Also, one time she tweeted an acknowledgement of Nakba Day, which is a day commemorated by Palestinian Arabs here in Israel. Basically what they call the catastrophe of the establishment of the state of Israel. So basically, Rashida Tlaib here is saying that the establishment of the state of Israel was a catastrophe, and she believes that Israel has no right to exist. But more recently, Tlaib blamed Israel for the death of Al-Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, as you guys know, which was killed in a firefight between the IDF and terrorist forces in Jenin. And she was one of the first ones to blame Israel, even before any evidence came out, before there were any investigations. She immediately blamed the IDF. But guys, I'm going to tell you about an outrageous decision by the travel agency Booking.com. But first, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Blessed by Israel. Guys, if you want a practical way to invest into the families of Judea and Samaria, then Blessed by Israel is for sure the way to go. Blessed by Israel, they're great friends of ours, not just a paid sponsorship here. They're good friends of ours, and they help us out wherever they can. They were originally founded to allow people from all over the world to connect with the small family businesses in the West Bank, or the biblical heartland of Israel, and to be able to tangibly invest in these small family businesses. Guys, they sell everything from olive oil, soap, honey. Also, have these great mugs here. Really awesome. You got to check them out. And this anti-aging cream, which, as you can tell, I really need. But guys, it's not easy for the pioneers here in the heartland of Israel to be living here, especially when the international community opposes their very existence. We're going to talk about in a minute what Booking.com did. It's not easy for these people to live here. That's why Blessed by Israel is inviting you to join them in their Heartland Challenge to show your support for the biblical heartland. The Heartland Challenge is basically where you make a commitment to only use certain products from the biblical heartland, Judea and Samaria. Basically, you could say, I'm going to use only soap from the biblical heartland, or I'm only going to use honey from them. Blessed by Israel is firmly committed to the concept that people should buy and support things they believe in. So if you believe that the Jewish people have a right to the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, then you should definitely check out blessedbyisrael.com and the Heartland Challenge. Go to blessedbyisrael.com. That's blessed, BUYisrael.com to find out more. It'll tell you everything you know. Guys, don't just buy Israel. Buy Blessed by Israel. And you can use the code INVEST at checkout for $5 off your first order. So, Booking.com is, right now, they're planning to add a safety and human rights warning to Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria. Yes, you heard me right. The huge travel agency, Booking.com, is going to add a warning to all properties in Judea and Samaria. No, not all properties, just the ones owned by Israelis, stating that, quote, visiting the area may be accompanied by an increased risk to safety and human rights or other risks to the local community and visitors. According to a report by Hatzinor television program, the English version of the warning will also include the word occupied. And the company is also contemplating making these same changes for properties in East Jerusalem. Even though the exact wording of the statement is not final, it's pretty clear that it will be published on all of Booking.com's platforms, not just the Hebrew version of the site. Booking.com said, quote, certain areas in the world affected by conflict may pose a greater risk to travelers, so we provide our customers with information to help make decisions and encourage them to check their government's official travel guidelines as part of the decision-making process. The far-left anti-Israel organization, breaking the silence here in Israel, they stated, quote, once again, Israel is learning that there are consequences for its actions and that the world takes responsibility and does not bow its head to the occupation. What occupation? Israel's tourism minister, Yoel Razvozos, he responded to this outrage from Booking.com. He wrote a personal letter to the CEO of Booking.com, Glenn Fogel. In the letter, he condemned the company's decision and stressed that this decision is wrong and does not do justice to the population of Judea and Samaria. He said a decision like this could destabilize the region which the government is working to preserve. I was surprised to hear about the company's intention. As the Minister of Tourism and also as an Israeli citizen, I strongly condemn it. The labeling of the State of Israel as someone who violates rights is unacceptable and does not do justice to the residents of Judea and Samaria who live in coexistence and whose source of livelihood relies on tourism. This is a biased and scandalous decision that may create unnecessary tension and destabilize the region. I call on the company to retract this decision. Benjamin Netanyahu also responded with, he posted a video on Twitter. We'll play that here.
I understand that Booking wants to restrict its services in Judea and Samaria. Booking, you should really read the book, the Bible. You know why Judea is called Judea? Because that's where Jews come from. It's been our homeland for close to 4,000 years. You should really get a history lesson.
Booking.com, maybe you should pay more attention to what Netanyahu says. Maybe you should listen to his advice and actually go read the Bible and maybe do a history lesson. Guys, Booking.com are not the only ones who are voicing their hatred for Israel right now. Actually, someone within Israel's own government, Member of Knesset, Ofer Cassif, he is from the Hadash party. Also in the past, he's been known to make very anti-Israel statements. He recently compared Palestinian Arab terrorists to resistance fighters who fought the Nazis, heroes who fought the Nazis during the Holocaust. He said, quote, Palestinians who harm IDF soldiers are not terrorists. They're guerrilla fighters. They're like the partisans who fought the Nazis. And this guy is in the Israeli Knesset. Don't ask me why. This is absolutely ridiculous why he is even allowed in the Knesset. Guys, make sure to check out blessedbyisrael.com. Join the Heartland Challenge to voice your support to go against the narrative of Booking.com, also of Member of Knesset, Ofer Cassif, to go against this leftist narrative that says that Israel has no right to the biblical heartland, Judea and Samaria. Go to blessedbyisrael.com to find out more. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. We love to see the conversation. You guys are great at commenting. Tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening in the land of Israel. We'll be back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.